And now on with the show. Happy Hanukkah, you beautiful people. Hopefully, I've gotten this up before Hanukkah ends. And hopefully, you're listening to this before Hanukkah ends. And if not, there's always next year's Hanukkah. And really, you can listen to this all year round because there really is no bad time to avoid trying to watch a bad Hanukkah film. This week, I'm watching. You could watch if you want, but you don't have to. The whole point of this podcast is so you don't have to watch these movies. But that doesn't mean that you can't watch these movies if you really want to. But this week we've got Mistletoe and Menorahs, which I'm not even bothering to read the description because this is from Lifetime. So I'm going to figure it follows the same plot of your normal Lifetime Christmas movies of big city girl who's just too wrapped up in her career, goes back to the small country town that she comes from, finds love, and decides that that's more important than her having a career or identity. Just once I'd like to see the film end with the woman deciding, well, if you truly love me, you're coming back to the city with me, and you're going to support my decision in what I want to do with my life. No, it's always the woman changes for the guy, or sometimes the guy changes for the woman if the guy is the one from the big city. That one doesn't seem to happen as much. It's always the woman. And, just why does everything have to be like, oh, this big city life is bad? Like, okay, yeah, they can learn to slow down a bit and enjoy the finer things in life, but they can still have their career. Why doesn't the woman get to keep her career? But since this is Hanukkah, and I think there's also Christmas involved, so I'm going to guess that she's Jewish and she gives up her faith to live a nice Christian lifestyle and be happy. That would be really fucked up if that's what happens, but it's Lifetime, so let's play. Let's press play. Isn't that would just be weird. Play. Like Aerosmith. Just push play. Terrible album. But on with the movie. Okay, Big City Girl's house is all decked out for Christmas, so I guess she's the Christian and Small Country Boy will be the Jew. Maybe this doesn't even go to a small country. Maybe they stay in the city and she just meets a Jew. That sounded kind of fucking racist, didn't it? But you know what? This movie's fucking racist. I'm calling it already. Anyhow, Big City Girl, she lives, it's like a fucking mansion. Okay, maybe not a mansion, but it's much fancier than my house. And she's all alone. You can sense the loneliness. She doesn't look lonely. She's smiling. She's happy, but you can sense the loneliness. And it can only be alleviated by the Jew love that she will find later. Please don't hate me. I'm not trying to be racist. It's just funny that this film is probably gonna focus so much on that the guy's a Jew. So I just gotta run with it and make fun of it. So it's the day of a big presentation at her job at the toy company. She doesn't work in the factory. She works in the helping design. I think she's in the toy company. And it's her big presentation. And if she nails it, she's going to get a promotion. And everyone's confident that she's going to nail it, which means she probably won't. And then she'll have to run back to the country. That's the way these films usually work. So that's what I'm thinking. But I'm still rooting for you, Big City Girl. You kick ass in that presentation. Presentation goes well. The client's a guy with a beard. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but I'm going to call him Beard Guy because he's so far the only guy in this movie with a beard. And we'll differentiate him as Beard Guy. And he loves her enthusiasm. And he wants to see, some concepts of the toys she's going to design. But, she didn't design any. Because her boss said, don't worry about it. She cool. She turns around. She's like, this probably isn't a good time because you've got the bean counters. So we'll schedule something separate. And Beard Guy is like, cool, cool. You obviously love the holidays. Come to my holiday party. You can pitch your ideas then. Like, oh no. Will she have some ideas before the party? Of course, she decides she's going to go to the party because she loves the holidays. I'm going to call it now. It's a Jewish party. And this is where she's going to meet the Jew. And she's going to be like, oh no, I know nothing about Hanukkah. So you better learn about Hanukkah. I mean, granted, he hasn't told you it's a Hanukkah party, but you should bone yourself up to get boned. And that was a very labored joke right there. But yeah, she should learn about all the holidays because you don't know what holiday he's going to spring on you. So Big City Girl's all happy and excited. So she calls her boyfriend, who's he's super supportive, and he's willing to talk to her even in the middle of his workout, because that's how supportive he is. So he's like, you kick ass, you're gonna kick ass, you're awesome. So I feel bad. I hope that there's something like wrong with him, like he's cheating on her or something, because she's gonna dump him for the Jewish guy. I just know it. And I hope that he's at least an asshole that deserves to be dumped. But right now he's supportive. Even if he's like a meathead working out, he's being supportive. So I'm rooting for you, meathead. Meanwhile, her assistant breaks the news to her that it's not a Christmas party, it's a Hanukkah party. And so you're going to have to learn about Hanukkah and become an expert in, I don't know how long of time she has before this Hanukkah party, and she has to make herself like a Hanukkah expert. But they figure, oh, it can't be that hard, because they Google it and they see like, well, there's candles and jelly donuts. And I'm not Jewish, and I know nothing about Hanukkah, and I'm pretty sure that's wrong and really fucking offensive to kind of pare Hanukkah down to candles and jelly donuts. There's at least also dreidels involved, right? Yeah. Well, I guess as she learns about Hanukkah, I'm going to learn about Hanukkah as well. And luckily, her assistant's kid has a history teacher who's Jewish. And so they're going to see if he'll teach her all about Hanukkah. And maybe fall in love on the way. Her dad calls her to make sure that she's going to come over for pre-Christmas Eve dinner. So like Christmas Eve or whatever. And she says, yeah, I'll be there, but blah, 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 blah. Here's my life story that I have to learn about Hanukkah. And so she goes home and she's Googling and drinking wine when her boyfriend shows up. Which I forgot to mention, her boyfriend had said that he was going to be busy that night. Which kind of led me to think like, oh, he was going to be cheating on her with some other girl or guy. This is the 2000s, 20s. So, you know, I figured, oh, that's why he's busy. But no, he shows up and he brought burgers because he figured she forgot dinner. And sure enough, she forgot dinner. And she forgot coffee, which she's going to be up all night. So he brought her coffee too. Like, again, just super awesome, supportive boyfriend. But, oh no, it's black, not the fancy latte that she drinks. So she's all upset. And you know what? Fuck you. Fuck you and fuck you. He was kind enough and knew that you would need coffee and dinner. And he came and like, oh, this isn't the coffee I like. You know what? It's the thought that counts. You love Christmas, and that's the whole basis of Christmas is that it's the thought that counts. And I just... Fuck you. Awkward pause because I thought I heard someone yell back at me. They probably thought I was yelling fuck you at you. And I yelled it so loud that someone outside heard it and got mad. But no, that's not the case. However, you know, Jock boyfriend isn't like completely perfect because apparently he only came over because he wanted to watch the game and his cable was out. So While she's going to be trying to study on Hanukkah and design some toys, he's going to be watching the game and yelling and woo! Defense! And whatever it is sports people yell when they watch sports games. So, okay. Yeah, kind of dickish on that, but I gotta say, so far, his positives still outweigh his negatives. So I don't think you should leave him. The next day, Big City Girl's at the cafe, giving her like super complicated order, which involves the coffee has to be like at the exact right temperature. Which again, fuck you, lady. Fuck you. You don't deserve the chalkhead boyfriend. You don't deserve love at all because you fucking suck with your complicated coffee orders and then being kind of like bitchy attitude because they can't get it right, which again, fuck you. Do you realize how overworked these people are and underpaid and just have to deal with assholes like you? And behind her in line is a guy that kind of looks like Ralph Macchio. I'm going to guess it's the Jewish guy that she's going to fall in love with because they kind of spar because he's kind of snippy about her order because it's too complicated. That's just going to make everyone wait. And, you know, some people have places to go. And she's like, well, maybe you should have left sooner. Which, again, fuck you, lady. You don't know this guy's life story. You know, he could be on his way to save a dying friend and just decide to stop and get some coffee first. You never know. Or maybe he already saved the dying friend. The dying friend was in a burning house and he saved them, which cut down on the amount of time he has to go to work, and he just wants a fucking coffee before he gets to work after saving some children from a burning orphanage. Did you ever give thought to that? Huh? No. You fucking asshole. I feel like I should call her a bitch, but then that seems kind of misogynist. But she does warrant being called a bitch. She borderline cunt, but I'm just gonna stick with asshole. Gender neutral, non-offensive, asshole. And I was right. Fake Ralph Macchio is the Jewish teacher. And they're thinking like, oh, well, this isn't gonna work. We can't work with each other because he's an asshole and she's an asshole and everyone's an asshole. But Big City Girl's assistant, you know, she makes the peace, and apparently fake Ralph Macchio has a Christian girlfriend. Well, I don't know if I should say Christian. She's a Gentile, I guess, right? It's not necessarily Christian, but she celebrates Christmas. And he doesn't know anything about Christmas, so, you know, he's going to teach her about Hanukkah, and she's going to teach him about Christmas, and everyone will be happy. But at the risk of sounding offensive, Christian, Christmas is not fucking complicated to get. Like Hanukkah's something serious, celebrating something serious, and there's like rules and traditions you have to follow. I believe. Again, I don't know much about Hanukkah, but I do believe like there are traditions you strictly do have to follow. Whereas Christmas, yeah, once upon a time it was about Jesus' birth, but nowadays it's strictly fucking presents. You buy a Christmas tree, you throw some ornaments, you put a fake Santa up, and you exchange presents, and that's it. There is nothing fucking else to Christmas. It's not fucking complicated. And he's a history teacher. Let me point that out. He is a fucking history teacher. How does he not know the basics of Christmas? It's not hard. Christmas is not hard. It's like one of the fucking easiest holidays. You just go to the store, buy decorations, put them up, presents on the 24th, and yeah, it's... Oh, I'm glad he's not my history teacher. Because if he can't figure out Christmas, how can he figure out the Peloponnesian War? Is that a thing? I was trying to think of some like crazy random war. I don't know if that's an actual war that happened, but he sucks at history and sucks at Christmas. Big City Girl thinks it's kind of ironic that Hanukkah, the at least the Hanukkah party, is going to be on Christmas Eve this year, which fake Ralph Macchio then tells her like, it's just the last day of Hanukkah, and she's amazed. And I wonder when this movie was made, because I know there was a year fairly recently that Hanukkah and Christmas overlapped, and I don't think it's happening this year. So I'm hopefully putting this up on the right week of Hanukkah. I could be wrong. Google, please do not fail me with what you told me is Hanukkah for this year. But she's amazed because she doesn't know that Hanukkah is multiple nights. Which, what the fuck? How do you not know that? Even if you know nothing about Hanukkah, the fucking Adam Sandler Hanukkah song has so pervaded pop culture that everyone knows it's more than one night. You know it's 8 nights if you really paid attention, but if you're a complete idiot and didn't pay attention because you hate Adam Sandler that much, which I don't fault you for, but you still know that it's happening over more than one night. Like, this is like just basics. What the fuck? Like, the Jew guy doesn't know that Christmas revolves around trees and presents, and the Gentile girl doesn't know that Hanukkah happens on several nights. Like, they're complete fucking idiots. How have they survived? I mean, I'm pretty sure they teach you in school. It's completely tokenism, but they're like, oh, by the way, there's a Hanukkah holiday that the Jews celebrate, and it goes on for 8 nights. Now back to learning about Christ. I mean, how do you not know this about Hanukkah? But fake Ralph Macchio thinks the first step in learning about Hanukkah is getting a menorah, which she does know that a menorah holds candles. So at least she has... How do you know a menorah and don't know that Hanukkah is several nights? What the fuck? Now that I think about it, like, this angers me. Big city rich girl just fucking angers me to, like, no end. Like, what fucking big city is she even living in that she knows so little about Jewish culture? Like, I don't expect her to be an expert, but, geez, everyone has, like, the very basic idea of Hanukkah. Super, super basic. You know that it's more than one night. So he takes her to a Hanukkah specialty shop that happens to be run by his grandma. Or, fuck, I forget. They gave the Jewish word for grandma. Should I say Jew? I should say Hebrew word. Hebrew. Referring to the language as Hebrew, I think is the proper thing. If I just keep calling it, like, Jewish words, then, yeah, I'm just coming off as a fucking racist. So, no, they gave the Hebrew word for grandma, and I completely blank on it now. So, please don't hate me. I'm not anti-Semitic. If you've listened to this podcast long enough, I do not have good short-term memory, and I forget, like, so much shit real quick. Like, I'm rambling now because I forgot what the fuck's happening in this scene. Yeah, so he buys a menorah to help teach her, but grandma's like, oh no, you start with latke. I hope I pronounced that right. Because she thinks that you do better at learning if you're on a full stomach, which I agree with. When you're hangry, then you're just going to get your religious traditions all fucked around. Before this scene goes on too long, I'm going to smack myself, and I'm going to find the makers of this film and smack them. So they're at lunch, talking about their hopes and dreams and all that shit, and, they've known each other for like an hour, and they're already, like, staring at each other with the lovey eyes, the googly eyes, like, oh, I want to bang you. Because that's what it comes down to. They can't really say, like, I want to bang you because it's Lifetime. So they make those eyes and pretend it's about love. But that's not the part that just pissed me off. The part is his girlfriend comes because she's decided to join for dinner or lunch. They're at lunch. I'm so angry. I don't even know what mealtime they're at. But he's ordered potato pancakes and jelly donuts. So is that a thing? Like, I'm willing to admit I don't fully know much about Hanukkah. I mean, I know the basics that it's more than one night. So I don't know the jelly donut thing. I've actually was not aware of that. I knew potato pancakes and like matzo ball soup. I don't think matzo ball soup is specifically Hanukkah, but I do know that it's part of the fine Jewish tradition of food. I knew nothing about jelly donuts. But anyways, he tells her that he ordered that, and she's like talking to big city rich girl, like, isn't Hanukkah so random? Like, why 8 nights? My fucking God, how long have you been dating this guy? And you know nothing so far about Hanukkah? I mean, granted, you know a little more than big city rich girl, because you at least know that it's 8 nights, but like, you never fucking like asked him, like, oh, hey, why 8 nights? And she says it in such a fucking condescending attitude, too. Like, oh, why is it 8 nights? Why not just a week? Like, have you not fucking, like, asked him before? Not that he's much better, because he knows nothing about Christmas, it seems. And Christmas is, like, again, the super easy holiday. You just buy presents, put up a Christmas tree, and some Santa decorations. Just, oh. So, in case you're as uninformed, why does that word just sound so weird? Uninformed. Uninformed. It sounds very weird. You know, there's words that, like, you say, and then they just feel really fucking weird when you say them. But I'm pretty sure that's how it's pronounced. But if you don't know, because you're, like, big city girl, the whole Hanukkah thing with 8 nights is because, wow, I'm terrible at recounting. So, there was a battle, and a Jewish temple was desecrated, and they had to work as quickly as possible to get it fixed. But they only had enough oil to light the lamps for 1 night. But miraculously, it lasted, yes, 8 nights. 8 crazy nights, as Adam Sandler would say. And then the food comes, and big city girl, she tries the jelly donuts, which I missed what they're called, so I'm not going to say it because I don't want to offend anyone. But they're jelly donuts, and she completely loves them, and the latkes, and she loves them, and, you know, fake Ralph Macchio tells her, hey, try some sour cream. And she's like, Meanwhile, his girlfriend is like, I know, it's so random. God, I want to punch her. Why are you calling his customs random? Granted, all customs are kind of random because it started from some random point, but who gives a fuck? This is what they do. It's not random anymore. It might have been random at the beginning when someone first tried latkes with sour cream. Like, yeah, if he was the first person in history to do that, then I could be like, yeah, it is kind of random that he just chose to do it. But no, it's tradition, it's custom, so it's not random anymore. There is a reason he's doing it. And sure, tradition is kind of like a lame reason to do something, but it is a reason. It's not random. And then the girlfriend has to leave to take a phone call or whatever. So it's just big city girl and fake Ralph Macchio, and they're talking, and, you know, he's worried that he's not going to be able to get the Christmas traditions down in time. Which, I mean, I guess if you've never done Christmas and knew absolutely nothing, you might be worried. But seriously, Christmas traditions are just so fucking easy. There is nothing complicated. There is no fucking Christmas traditions, really, if you stop and think about it. You give presents. You put up Christmas decorations. That is it. You sing some Christmas carols if you want to. You listen to that fucking Mariah Carey song, which is worse than that Paul McCartney song. In fact, I actually don't even hate that Paul McCartney song. It's kind of catchy. It's got a good melody. I don't care. I like it. I will stand up for Paul McCartney's It's Wonderful Christmas Time. No, that's not the title of it. I can't think of the title, and I don't want to give too many dead spots in this podcast. So we're just going to go, Simply Having a Wonderful Christmas. Yeah, that's the song. It's a fucking great song. And Big City Girl, she's mentioned something about Tinseltown, and fake Ralph Macchio says, in earnest, he's not like joking around. He says, what's Tinseltown? God, people cannot be this fucking stupid in real life, are they? To throw out a stereotype, aren't Jews supposed to be smarter than us? Apparently not this one. He knows nothing. He's a fucking idiot. Again, like, if you live in America, our culture is so saturated with Christmas that by osmosis you should pick up, like, the very basics of it. It's in your face all the fucking time, every year, for longer and longer. Before it was just December. Then it took over November. Now sometimes even before Halloween, you're just inundated with fucking Christmas shit. So how do you not know any fucking single thing? This is not like Kwanzaa. I will forgive you if you know absolutely nothing about Kwanzaa, because we are not given much about Kwanzaa. It's like Juneteenth, where for the longest time everyone's like, yeah, we don't care. It's a black thing, so it doesn't matter. And finally, these things are starting to fucking matter. But how do you not know anything about Christmas? God, if he didn't look like Ralph Macchio, I would jump through the screen and punch him. Next day at the office, Big City Girl gets some terrible news. Because apparently, another rival toy company has been invited to the Hanukkah party as well. Because this company run by the Hanukkah guy, they love the idea of toys that they're going to pit different toy companies against each other. Which is really rough because Big City Girl, she doesn't have any toy ideas yet. Oh no, what will she do? Will she be able to come up with something in time? Or bullshit her way through it? We shall see. Her method of teaching him about Christmas. Oh, I kind of just jumped, didn't I? Yeah, so they got together, Big City Rich Girl and fake Ralph Macchio. And she was late because she assumed he was going to be late, which that's fucking racist. I don't know if that's a stereotype about Jews being late, but it just sounds racist that she assumed he was going to be late. So, but she's going to teach him about Christmas, which involves holiday shopping, except doesn't look like they bought any presents. But, you know, that is really what Christmas is all about, buying presents. Let's face it, And she tells him about Secret Santa, which he thinks is when people start fighting for presents. Like a physical, like, fist fight. Which I want that to be a fucking Christmas tradition from now on. Come on, let's start this. Christmas Fight Club. This sounds fucking awesome. But she's just like, oh no, so much I have to teach you. Yeah, because he's a fucking idiot. Again, do you not watch TV? How many, like, TV shows have mentioned Secret Santa? Like, is this guy, like, just raised in a cave? He was raised in a temple that had been destroyed, and all he's got is the oil that miraculously lasted for 8 nights. This is all he knows of the world. All he knows is Hanukkah. He's a fucking history teacher! Remember that! He's a history teacher who has absolutely zero concept of Christmas. None whatsoever. I do not want him teaching my kids. That night for dinner, Big City Girl's boyfriend comes over, and she's made some latkes, but he doesn't want to try any. He just wants to watch the game and order some Chinese, which is kind of ironic, don't you think? I mean, not really ironic, but, you know, one of the big stereotypes about Jewish people is that they go eat Chinese food on Christmas. So he'd rather eat Chinese than eat Jewish food. So really, yeah, seriously, not irony at all. But he pitches to her idea for stockbroker action figures that will help kids teach or help teach kids about the stock market. And I think that's a great idea. I want some of those. You make some stockbroker action figures, I'm there. I'm buying one. I'm first in line. Actually, I'll probably just order them on Amazon. No, not even on Amazon. I'm just not going to buy them at all, truth be told. But she disagrees with the idea. And then he tells her that he can't come to her parents' like Christmas Eve party because he's decided he's going to be working late, i.e., he's having an affair. Or maybe he just is. He's the big city girl in this film because he's focused on his career rather than on the important things in life. But he's not gonna meet a small. Maybe he does meet a small town girl that teaches him about savoring the little things in life and not be so like narrow-minded on your career. That would be a great twist. I want that film now. Let's leave behind these idiots that are trying to learn Christmas and Hanukkah traditions because they are incredibly stupid. I want to know more about the stock market, stockbroker boyfriend guy, and he's gonna fall in love with someone else and learn the true meaning of Christmas. Fantastic. And then he leaves. Perfect timing in the leaving because as soon as he leaves, fake Ralph Macchio video calls her. Which, how are you going to explain that to your boyfriend? Like, oh, no, nothing going on. We're just chatting. Yeah, chatting. With someone who looks like Ralph Macchio? I don't think so. Someone's pants are getting off before the end of the night. And, he's there to remind her to light the menorah. And apparently he's also getting into the Christmas spirit. He's taken to this like a champ because he has an ugly Christmas sweater, which isn't really all that ugly. It's just green and it's got a candy cane on it. And he made a gingerbread house. So, he's got it. He knows what Christmas is all about. I'm sure in his mind he thinks there's more to learn, but seriously, no. There is not more to learn about Christmas. Gingerbread house, ugly sweaters, decorations, presents. It is so simple. And even if you fuck up, no one cares. As long as you don't fuck up the presents. The presents part is the only part that matters. But they're going to meet together the next day so that they can learn more about each other's traditions. Next day, fake Ralph Macchio is having a holiday bake sale. And he's selling fruitcake. Because he loves fruitcake now. And Big City Girl's like, whoa, fruitcake doesn't have anything to do with Hanukkah. And he's like, well, part of Judaism is giving back to the community. And she's like, whoa, Christmas is about the spirit of giving. Our religions are so similar. Our holidays are so similar. And I'm glad that they're learning an important lesson. I don't know what that important lesson is. I'm learning an important lesson in that films can cause brain aneurysms. The next lesson is wrapping Christmas presents. So I assume this is also the final lesson because, again, that's really all there is to Christmas presents. So, but unfortunately she gets called away. She has to go to the office for an emergency last minute meeting because they need to come up with a toy to pitch to the Jewish company. And she's like, oh no, I don't know what to do. And fake Ralph Macchio's like, go with that stockbroker action figure idea. Add a comic book. Kids will love it. So that's exactly what she pitches to them, and the boss is like, yeah, whatever, love it, go make a prototype. Which, she's excited, and I hope she gives credit to her boyfriend for coming up with the idea. Because, it was his idea, so she'd be a real dick to not at least let him know, like, hey, let her boyfriend know, like, hey, your idea, it's badass, and we're gonna do it. But when she and because she had drawn up, like, some preliminary sketches, and there's kind of this Weasley little dude also there, and he secretly takes some pictures of it. So I don't know, he might be a double agent for the other toy company, and he's gonna steal the ideas and take it to them. Who knows? I just don't trust him. And then she calls her boyfriend, and instead of leading with, hey, they like the stockbroker action figure idea, she's like, hey, let's go to dinner. And he's like, yeah, that's great, because I need to talk to you about something. But I can only talk to you about dinner. Which, so it's going to be a breakup dinner. I can feel it. That or I'm leaving you because I've met some small town girl, and she's taught me to value the real things in life. Now they're at a Christmas tree farm, because they have to pick out the perfect Christmas tree. Oh no fake pre-assembled tree for them. No going to Walmart. They got to cut it fresh. And she's carrying the axe so as to emasculate him. I don't know if that's the reason. There's nothing wrong with the woman carrying the axe to chop down the tree. Because that's the way it would be in my relationship if we were to cut down a tree. My wife would be the one doing the cutting, and I'd be in the corner crying and trying to avoid the tree falling on me. So he gives her some life advice or something. Some pretty good but generic advice, and she's like, you are great with kids. Which I don't know how she's come to this conclusion. She has not seen him in action at all with any kids. Is she just going on the word of her assistant, whose son is in the class, and the son must love the teacher? How do you know that fake Ralph Macchio is good with the kids? Are you just taking an assumption? I mean, if we go off the Karate Kid movies, then yeah, I guess he's good with children. Is he? Does he interact with children? I don't know. Cobra Kai, he has kids, and he's teaching them. So if we go off the Cobra Kai seasons, Cobra Kai series, then yeah. But then again, that's the real Ralph Macchio. This is fake Ralph Macchio, so I don't know if he's good with kids. But they pick out a Christmas tree, and they go to his house, and they start decorating and putting up trees and, well, not trees, just the one tree, and the lights. And they're enjoying it. They're having a good time. They are falling in love. I can sense it. They are falling in love. And, it's not going to be a big deal for him that she's, a Gentile who celebrates Christmas, because that's his girlfriend already is a Gentile who celebrates Christmas. So, really, they're interchangeable. Go for it, fake Ralph Macchio. Now it's time to light the menorah. Night 5, as evidenced by the fact that there's 5 candles. Now, I always assumed that you leave the candles in after for each night, but he put all 5 candles in tonight. So I don't know, is it that he's just been slacking and he forgot? Or is it that you take the candles out and every night you put in all of them back in plus 1? Which seems kind of wasteful. I would think that you would leave the candles in to the next day and then just add 1 candle. A lot of unnecessary energy being expended there, taking all the candles out. So I don't know, is he just a bad Jew who forgot to put up the candles the past 5 days? I don't know. That's for you who are more familiar with the Hanukkah traditions to decide. Now, Big City Girls, damn it. So close. I had it. Her jock broker boyfriend. It's a term I've just coined. It's like a stockbroker who's a jock. He's a jock broker. He arrives and she has to go freshen up, which is movie talk for she has to go poop, and they're not at that point at the relationship yet where they poop in each other's presence. She's okay with pooping in front of fake Ralph Macchio because, he's that special someone. But the jock broker, no, it's not at the pooping stage of the relationship yet. So while she's pooping, jock broker is talking to fake Ralph Macchio, and he tells her, like, oh, once she gets this promotion, I'm going to put a word in at my bank, and she's going to get a job there. And fake Ralph Macchio's like, does she want to work there? Like, who cares? It's a lot of money. Who doesn't want to work at a bank for lots of money? And, it's just, obviously, he doesn't have his head on straight. So, again, he needs to find the small town girl to teach him that it's not all about the money. Christmas is about family, and just like Fast and Furious. Why is there no Christmas edition of the Fast and Furious? Because that movie series is all about family. I am going to pitch this. Who's got Vin Diesel's number? Vin Diesel, you need to do a Christmas edition of the Fast and Furious. So, but on their way out, fake Ralph Macchio tries to, warn Big City Girl about the relationship, like, oh, you shouldn't settle for less, and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, who are you to be in my business? Why aren't you not settling for less? And, I think this is their first fight. But I think they can get through it. I think they'll be okay. Big City Girl and Jock Broker are now out at dinner at a Chinese restaurant, I think. Yeah, that's what they said earlier they're going, right? It doesn't look very Chinese to me, but, it's the big city, so maybe it's like a gentrified version of Chinese restaurants where no Chinese people work. So, she's distracted because she's still thinking about fake Ralph Macchio. Because really, that's who she loves. That's who she really, really loves. I'm distracted because I'm watching a commercial right now because I decided to just put it on mute instead of pausing. And it's for Creature Comforts Pet Resort, where I guess you can take your dog and there's fucking like beds for the dogs to lay on. Not like dog beds, but like human beds. That is crazy. If you're taking your pet to a pet resort where they can have like their own like human bed, you've got too much fucking money. I mean, is it for like when you're leaving out of town? I don't know. Why not just let the dog on your own bed? Anyhow, so Big City Girl, she's just distracted. And so the Jock Broker thinks, well, here, this will cheer you up. It's a job application. Like, wow. Like, that's a hell of a way to like, surprise, here's your present. And he's doing it early, so I don't know if it was meant as a Christmas present. Here's a Christmas present. You got a job application. Not even a job yet, just an application that if you get your promotion at your current job that you really like, you can get this other job that you might not like, but pays more money. Which is, he's assuming that. Like, does she know how much she's going to start getting paid if she gets this promotion and then told Jock Broker? And Jock Broker knows how much money, obviously he would probably know how much the banking job would pay, but how does he know how much the toy company promotion job would pay to know that the bank pays more? I mean, is it just an assumption? Because being a banker means you can make enough money to snort coke off of hookers' asses or their tits, whichever you prefer. I wouldn't recommend snorting coke on their vaginas just because that's kind of a dangerous spot. You don't want the cocaine to go up there. Who else but me is gonna be watching a Lifetime movie and somehow trail off into snorting coke off of a hooker's vagina? This guy. Only this fucking guy could do it. Oh, Matt. Where was I? I forget what happens. Stuff happens. Oh yeah, she gets mad and she realizes, oh, fake Ralph Macchio, this is what he was trying to warn me about. And maybe he has a point. I should not be in this relationship. I should get my own hookers to snort cocaine off their vaginas. I don't know. I'm going to sit with that for a while. I think you should pause the podcast and just sit for a while with this whole snorting coke off of hookers' vaginas. If you're rich, go for it. Then we get to see a couple days of Big City Girl just She feels like she's going through the motions because she just doesn't know what she wants anymore, and she doesn't have faith in herself that she's going to be able to pull off this whole like toy thing. What's it? Pitch. The pitch. Because she doesn't even really have like the full on idea, and she's trying to come up with a fake comic that's supposed to go with it. But everyone else believes in her. She just doesn't believe in herself. And then she runs into fake Ralph Macchio's girlfriend at the cafe shop, and they exchange some pleasantries. And you can tell Big City Girl does not like her because she knows that this girlfriend does not deserve fake Ralph Macchio. And then the barista finally gets her order right. The right temperature, no whipped cream. I don't know if I explained that before of how the barista kept screwing up. Apparently it was her first week. But now she knows, and she can get the order right. And, she's not annoyed that Big City Girl has like this really super fucking annoying order, even though she's fully in her right to be fucking annoyed about it. But the barista tells her there's nothing wrong with getting exactly what you want. Those words are resonating in Big City Girl's mind. And she's thinking, exactly what I want is fake Ralph Macchio. I say, honey, don't settle for fake Ralph Macchio. Go out there and find the real Ralph Macchio, because you deserve the best. Big City Girl then goes to fake Ralph Macchio's grandma's store because she needs a gift so that she can apologize. And who better to know what perfect gift to get than fake Ralph Macchio's grandma? And so Big City Girl goes over to fake Ralph Macchio's house to apologize. But before she can say anything, he's like, I'm sorry. Because he realizes he overstepped his boundaries in trying to talk to her about her relationship. But, Grandma can sense that there's a flame there. She knows it. She can tell it. And she's going to push them together. So Big City Girl gives the present, which looks to be a tree topper that has the Star of David. That is the shape of Star of David. And fake Ralph Macchio is like, this is great. I had one as a kid. Which now has me confused. Did he have like a tree topper when he was a kid? For a Christmas tree? Is there a Hanukkah tree? What the fuck? Why does he have a tree topper? And if he had a tree topper, how does he know fuck all about Christmas? God, I hate this movie. Just why? People are not this stupid in real life, and I'm learning the true meaning of brain aneurysms. Of course, since fake Ralph Macchio got a gift, he's got to give one back. He's got to give a gift to show that he's apologizing too. So he gives her half a jelly donut. Like really, he gives her half of it. Why not give her the whole thing? The fuck? Is this a half apology? I mean, granted, maybe you didn't have as much to be sorry about because you were trying to tell her about how the jock broker is a fucking dick. But I don't know. I mean, are you calling her fat? That's what I feel like you're doing. Like, here's an apology, but you're only getting half of it because it's going to go to your thighs. I can read your mind, fake Ralph Macchio. Just, you're a dick. Give her all of the jelly donut. And fake Ralph Macchio hasn't finished decorating his tree because, it's tough decorating a tree. I'm surprised that he's putting the effort. Like, I would have just tossed shit anywhere and be like, yeah, whatever, I'm done. It's Christmas. But Big City Girl tells him that she'll come by the next day to help him finish. They're friends again. Then she gets a call from the jock broker who tells her that not only can he not make it to the family party, he's not going to be able to make it to the Hanukkah party either because his boss gave him tickets to a sports game and she's making him go to the game. So I read between the lines there. Jock broker is fucking his boss. That's what it is. Sure, he's claiming like, I gotta do it for the money. It's all about the money. No, it's not. I mean, it is. It is all about the money for him, but also about getting Boss Poontang. Yeah, I went there. Boss Poontang. Oh yeah, because boss could mean his boss, and boss also as in it's the best bomb ass pussy around. Where I've noticed like when I do these fucking podcasts, I'm always like just trailing off into like these weird little tangents. Which this has to be like the fucking dirtiest review of a Lifetime movie ever. My mind has just gone off into just some sick avenues. Next day, Big City Girl goes to fake Ralph Macchio's house to help with the decorating. But it hasn't been decorated at all any further than since yesterday. He didn't even try. Why? 'Cause he got dumped. That's right. The Gentile girlfriend was like, can't do this. We're moving too fast. And my dad will probably love you. Which, you know, she's that type of girl, I guess. She wants the bad boy. She's got father issues. And she wants her family to hate her boyfriend. And, if that's the case, that's just not going to be a good relationship. So fake Ralph Macchio, she's doing you a favor. Because you're supposed to bang Big City Girl anyhow. You two are the ones that are going to get together. So Big City Girl figures that since fake Ralph Macchio doesn't have a girlfriend anymore, and her jock broker boyfriend isn't going to go to the Christmas party, the pre-Christmas party at her parents' house, why not bring fake Ralph Macchio? And he gets along great with her parents, and apparently they once went to Israel, so they know a lot about the Jewish culture. And then Christmas carolers show up, and that's the next lesson in learning about Christmas is the Christmas carolers. And you know what? I fucking love these Christmas carolers. Actually, more specifically, I like this one bald guy in the back who just doesn't even bother to fake it. He's not like lip syncing at all. He's just kind of shaking his head, not moving his, like every once in a while, kind of moving his lips. He's making no effort, and he's not even trying to hide the fact that he's bored and does not want to be there. And that's a great touch, because usually a director would see that and be like, okay, we got to get rid of him. Either you get happier or we're going to replace you with Steve over by the lighting guy. But no, the director saw that and said, when there's Christmas carolers, there's always the one guy that gets roped into it, and he's not interested, and he doesn't care, and you can tell he's unhappy to be here. And Baldy, you are playing that to perfection. That or the director was like, we don't really have the time and money to do another take on this, so fuck it. Or even the director was just stupid and did not see it. But there's no way you can miss it. He was fucking just so not into it whatsoever. I love him. I want a film about the guy that was uninterested in Christmas caroling. Because I bet he has a great story there in which he learns a lesson about the spirit of Christmas carols. Give me that story next Lifetime. So, but big surprise for Big City Girl, because fake Ralph Macchio goes in and asks them if they know this one Hanukkah song. And surprisingly, they know it. Except for Baldy. And truth be told, maybe he does know it and he just doesn't give a fuck. Because he's equally uninterested in Christmas carols and Hanukkah carols. And, I didn't even realize there was Hanukkah carols. I knew there was the dreidel song and Oh Hanukkah. And this song that they sing is neither one of those. So, who knows? I guess this is a thing, as he tells Big City Girl, we have our carols too. So you see, there's not that much different. So Christians and Jews alike unite over the holiday seasons. Because you really aren't all that different. Fake Ralph Macchio has really enjoyed the night and the time that he spent with Big City Girl's parents, and this is his final lesson on Christmas. That it's not about the trees, it's not about the presents. It's, as Vin Diesel would say, about family. And Fake Ralph Macchio tells her, what do you know? Something else Christmas and Hanukkah have in common. See, people, the Jews are just like us. Or the Gentiles are just like us, depending on which side of the fence you are. And if you're mixed, other mixed people are just like us. The key is other people are just like you. You're not special. You're not unique. You're not a snowflake. Yeah. The next day, Big City Girl, she does something with her assistant and helps her apply for some other job or whatever. I'm so not invested in the assistant that I tuned her out. But then Big City Girl goes to see her jock broker boyfriend, and she goes to surprise him, but oh no, he's there with his bros, and they're all going to the game tonight. And she's like, what? I thought you were going with your boss. And he's like, well, the boss couldn't make it, but she gave me all the tickets, so I'm going with my bros. Likely story. I don't think the boss ever gave him tickets. I bet he bought them for himself and his bros. And I bet he doesn't even have a boss. His story's just falling apart. And of course she's upset because, now that it's not a work thing, but still he'd rather go to the game than go to her party where she's gonna make her big presentation. She's realizing, bro, you don't deserve me. She hasn't fully come to terms with it. She hasn't fully realized it. She hasn't said it, but she's realized it's coming. She's realizing that the one that really matters is fake Ralph Macchio. Because he'll go with her. He won't turn down to go to a sports game. I bet fake Ralph Macchio doesn't even like sports. She decides to swing by fake Ralph Macchio's house to, say thank you for being a supportive friend. And, hey, since you're not doing anything and I don't have a date to this thing, why don't you come along with me? And he's like, all right. Well, he doesn't say it like that, but, he agrees to go with her, and they're going to have a good time. And then he tries to kiss her under the mistletoe, except it wasn't mistletoe that he hung up. Oh yeah, by the way, he got all his Christmas decorations up, but screwed up on the mistletoe. It's just a piece of fern. They arrive at the party, and Big City Girl has brought some homemade jelly donuts that the big boss guy, he loves. He's like, just like my Shatza, the grandma. I think he said Shatza. The word for grandma. I'm out of my depth here, so I'm out of my league and trying to keep up with the terminology. But just like my grandma in Israel used to make, So, some bonus points there. She's got some bonus points. And then they walk around and they see a Christmas tree. Because apparently the big boss dude's wife grew up doing Christmas. And big boss dude knows Christmas. Not that hard. See, there are Jewish people that know what Christmas is all about and at least know the Christmas tree. But then again, maybe it was his wife knew all about it, and before he met his wife, he knew nothing about Christmas. He didn't know what a Christmas tree was. Because apparently, in the world of Lifetime movies, Jews know nothing about Christmas. They need to be taught to love Christmas. And then Big City Girl runs into her boss at the toy company, and he tells her, oh no, Weasley dude, he's now working for the rival toy company because he got a job because he had some information. Remember, he took those pictures of her drawings, so rival toy company, they're probably gonna pitch the idea for stockbroker action figures. Though if they call them jock brokers, I am fucking suing because I have already copyrighted that. It's my term. Big City Girl then gets the honor of lighting the menorah because it's the final night. So she fucking kills it, I assume. She gets all the candles lit and she sings the song. Most interesting is like the reactions of like the people in the crowd, all the extras, because some of them are like, how sweet, and others are just have this look like, who does this bitch think she is? Like, she's a fucking Gentile and she's lighting the menorah and singing our song. What the fuck? So I'm just curious, like when filmmakers are doing these films and the extras are just kind of seeming to go off script with their reactions, do they just go like, what the fuck? Gotta do this over. Or do they just give up like, this is a fucking Lifetime movie. Who gives a fuck? But the important people, Fake Ralph Macchio and bearded big mogul toy dude, they're impressed. And they really like it. So between being able to hit the menorah, lighting the menorah, and those homemade jelly donuts, she's got this in the bag. Big mogul dude is like so impressed with Big City Girl that, you know, he lets out a little secret information that the other toy company, they've made the pitch, and while the board likes it, he thinks it's just a fucking boring idea. And the idea was her idea, the congressional action figures. I know, I was thinking it was the Jock Brokers action figures, but apparently it somehow leaped to congressional action figures. I don't know, I wasn't paying attention. Long story short, it was her idea, they stole it, and it sucked. So, it's a good thing for her that they stole it, but now she has nothing. And she asked Fake Ralph Macchio, like, oh no, I'm just fucked. And they see some kids playing Dreidel, and they're like, maybe Dreidel? No, that's a lame game. And Fake Ralph Macchio talks about how a game he used to play when he was a kid about someone versus someone. I don't know, some battle. Macedonians versus Greeks or something. I don't know. I don't think it's the actual Jewish thing. I think it's more on his, like, love of history thing. Like some Greek war or something. But the point is, they did not have action figures that he could use for this battle game that he wanted. And a light bulb goes off in her head, like, not congressional action figures, not the Jock Brokers, but these battle guys. But she needs some time to quickly make up her pitch, so she has Fake Ralph Macchio lead the group into song, which he does. While everyone's singing, Big City Girl runs to the trunk of her car, and she gets out the prototype toy that she had, which is kind of like a headless Ken doll that was dressed in a suit. She rips off the suit and takes some tissue paper and makes it into like a biblical robe and brings it in to the big mogul guy and like, oh, it's a very early prototype, but it'll be a Maccabee or McAfee or Maccagee, whatever, someone from the Bible. And she's like, you know, as kids, you guys didn't have action figures to play with, so we're going to do a whole line of biblical action figures. And he loves the idea because that's a market that's needed. No one makes biblical action figures. Except there are biblical action figures out there if you want to search for them. The key is there's no good biblical action figures out there. But there are like really cheap toys that are like Jesus. Kung Fu Fighting Jesus. I'm not sure if there really is one, but I bet there is one. I bet there is a Kung Fu Fighting Jesus action figure. And if not, get on it. That is what you should have been pitching, girl. You should have pitched the idea of a Kung Fu Fighting Jesus. Except, maybe not to a Jewish guy. Maybe, that's kind of a sore spot, I think. So maybe he wouldn't like Kung Fu Fighting Jesus. But he loves her idea for biblical action figures. And she's excited, and Fake Ralph Macchio's excited, and they find real mistletoe, and they kiss. Oh, it took forever, but finally. True love. Although technically she's still dating the jock broker. She is not actually broken up with him. Fake Ralph Macchio, he got dumped, so, he's single. She's cheating. She is cheating on her boyfriend. There's no two ways around that. That conniving bitch. That was kind of harsh. No, she's not conniving or a bitch. I just still hate her. And I hate him. And I hate the jock broker. And I hate the girl that broke fake Ralph Macchio's heart. I hate everyone in this film. Except the Christmas Caroler, who obviously gave no shits. He is the true hero of this film. So the toy board loves the idea for the biblical action figures. So they're going to rush it in production so that they can get it out in time by April for Passover. Smart marketing move there. But yeah, whatever. Smart marketing move. They're going to make a fortune with that. And fake Ralph Macchio is like, you know what? I'm going to teach you all about Passover. And Big City Girl's like, is that anything like Easter? I'm going to teach you all about Easter. Because I'm sure fake Ralph Macchio knows nothing about Easter. Because he knows nothing about Christmas. So I'm sure he knows nothing about Easter. Are we going to get a sequel on this where he's got to learn all about the Easter Bunny? Because he has no fucking idea about the Easter Bunny or chocolate eggs or Cadbury cream eggs. Oh my God. I hate you, fake Ralph Macchio. And I hate you, Big City Girl. And that's the end of the movie. And again, we never got an official breakup between her and her jock boyfriend. So she's two-timing. I'm sure the next day she'll officially break up with him. It's all good. Just... oh, man, that was just fucking terrible. Oh, why do I torture myself with these films? But I don't care. I'm gonna get the rights. I'm gonna write to Lifetime, and I'm gonna get the rights to make my own film about the bald Christmas caroler who gave no fucks and couldn't be bothered to even fake it with singing. Because he is my hero. Blah, 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 the usual, velvetowl@hotmail.com, or leave comments. And I hope you enjoyed listening to this more than I enjoyed watching this film, which is a pretty low bar. So if I failed at entertaining you, I failed horribly. So I'll see you next time. We're going to do some more holiday-themed films, and hopefully we can survive.